Welcome back to the Watch Along Gang. Today we have the old man and the desert. That's
Old
Anything
Man
to say
and the
about us?
Dune Sea.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and John Williams is doing the theme.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he does the whole score.
We lost.
I hope he's not depressed the entire time. Luke.
Stay
That's cool.
hidden.
Ooh, I like the Duel of Fates back in here now. It's the best thing from the
Well,
prequels.
these movies need some sand.
To hunting Jedi.
Oh, Inquisitors.
Nice. I love this. This is going to be awesome.
Who's that guy?
Oh,
That's one of the Inquisitors.
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail.
oh, that's interesting.
That's awesome. This ties right into Rebels then.
Yeah.
The Jedi code is like an itch.
Oh, what's her name?
He cannot
Is that
help
Ray
it.
Sloan?
From Game of Thrones.
Where is he?
Kind of feels like the prequel trailer when that from episode 1 and everyone was so excited and then the movie wasn't good.
It's that font, man. So they're
Yeah.
using the.
Using that prequel font.
That's Vader. I hear Vader. I hear Vader. May 25th. Oh, come on, guys.
Very sweet.
Oh, there they go.
Come on, you
Hey,
had
ma-
May the 4th right there.
They're making use
Well,
of that.
I bet you if
Lame.
Moon Knight is starting at the end of March, then Moon Knight will probably run into May. They don't like to overlap these series. They're kind of smart that way.
Well, what I'm really excited about, I mean, I had issues with Boba Fett overall. I mean, they had some like 2 or 3 amazing episodes at the end there, but I think it kind of. I mean, I love Jon Favreau and I love everything they're done for, but I'm excited to see a show not written by him that has like, oh, let's get other people's take in here and other people in charge of this.
Well,
Because
I'm
it's
super
Deborah
excited about
Wang, is that her
this.
name? She's a
I
showrunner.
think so. Because with Boba Fett, I could care because if it's just fun, I don't care because I don't like Boba Fett anyway. But
Right.
with Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's like this is something I'd like to see. I'm prepared though because I've seen Picard and I'm prepared for that level of disappointment. So
Yeah.
if it's and I can watch Picard because it's fun, even though it's stupid. As long as I say to myself, this has nothing to do with the other things I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't see this. I can't connect this to the Picard stories that I'm already familiar with. But as this bizarre, overpriced fanfic, it's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, all
So-
this thing. Yeah.
Well,
it's
I
like,
thought,
hopefully-
I thought it looked good. I thought it looked like it was a good continuation of the story, and going into the hunting of the Jedi is something that seems cool to watch.
These
Well,
guys
I-
are way more reliable than the Star Trek shows are good, but these guys are way more reliable in delivering the goods on these Star Wars.
Well, what would be
shows,
interesting
me.
too is the chance, especially if like you know, they're behind this and that story team and stuff. Is that like, I mean, what we liked about Last Jedi and what they've done a little bit on, or that's sort of what I was disappointed on Boba Fett, but I can get that later. But it's like that we haven't examined. It's getting into. I like that talking about like, you know, Jedis can't help it; they can show their compassion or whatever. I like getting in more to the soul of a Jedi and analyzing that, and having Ben, because we didn't really get to see a lot of Ben's opinions before he died in New Hope. So he's going through like a big like, hey, like we lost, and like what's that mean to him? What does it mean to be a Jedi? Like he's gonna have this, you know, thing that Luke went through and before,
And we
you know,
can
Last
really
Jedi kind of thing.
contextualize that now because when we
Right.
see him in Star Wars, none of that stuff has happened on screen or off. Yeah,
He's gone over it. He's gone
And
through it.
Then when we see the prequels, we don't see how this leads to that. But
No.
this movie really is 20 years later in real time,
Right.
and they really are going back and re-examining the prequels. Like, then I think this is really going to be able to contextualize that in a way, trying to make the prequels match the original trilogy just didn't work.
And it
This
gives
could be a
you
lot
a
of
lovely
fun.
arc for the character because he does come away from the prequels having lost and in a scary place. And by the time we see him in the original Star Wars, he's very calm and he's at the end of his journey and he's happy to move on to the next
Right.
place.
Yeah.
So
And he's
we can
decided
see
that Luke
journey
is good.
get
He
there.
should be a Jedi. So whatever he's come to terms with, like, you know what, I need to actually teach him and he's pretty decisive by the time Luke comes to him, which he probably, knew he was going to come to him. Like it's interesting to see that
should be
turmoil in
happy.
the
It looks
middle.
like he leaves Tatooine.
Yeah, of course he will.
So,
Well, this is basically like you said, because Rebels already did this kind of gap. Like this is sort of that. It's like the Rebels, like we get to see a
it's
live
awesome.
action hitting on the same.
And
Like you get way more into Nazi,
Uncle
like.
Owen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in there too.
Uncle
Yeah.
Owen's there, so like clearly
Again,
when they get to him in the original trilogy, Uncle Owen and him have some sort of dispute over what Luke's going to do with his future. Like he's like, your uncle didn't want me to tell you any of this stuff.
and
So
we
you've
don't
got
see
that
any of that
interaction.
in the prequel. So yeah,
And it'll
again,
deepen that
gives us a chance to
relationship, so when they
contextualize that
actually-
as part of the story. I love it.
Yeah, so when they actually see him dead, it's sad in there, but it's also like, whoa, he actually has a relation to these people. They're not just people that are overdubbed talking weird to him at the beginning.
Well,
It's like,
and it redeems the prequels again because it's so funny. Ever since they started making these new Star Wars movies and stuff, anytime you see someone who appeared in the prequels, it feels exciting because they're coming
Yeah.
back to it. Even though you're like, I don't know why I'm nostalgic for the prequels that I didn't enjoy, but just the chance to revisit that and give them a little bit more to work with in the story, I always excites me. Like Hayden Christensen being in this as Darth
that's what I'm
Vader
saying,
is
yeah.
very exciting to me.
Well, if he's to see him play, and there was not even putting that in this trailer, to see him if he's playing scenes without the helmet on, actually playing scenes and stuff, that'd be crazy. That'd be interesting to see. Like, what is Darth Vader's life? Because if you we saw this kid was like, he's also like an 18-year-old kid, and this happened to him, and he had 20 years of his life of like, how does he get a bachelor pad? What's he do? Like, we don't know any of this journey to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, he just became Darth Vader, and it could be sort of a like him. We're not seeing that yet, but that could be totally fascinating. It's like, how is he getting used to? I mean, it's his second day in the suit, right?
Well, did
Like,
you watch you watched all the Rebels
yeah,
stuff? So, but this is what I love is they have these arcs that are super fun in Rebels, but they don't get to dip into it too much because first of all, Rebels is not about those characters, and second, Rebels is an animated show. But so now they have a chance to get sort of a second dip. If you guys can show us, because we saw the final confrontation between Ahsoka Tano and Darth Vader in Rebels, and it's super exciting. And the most exciting part is like they crack open the mask and you can see it's him underneath. And I would like to see a crack in the mask kind of moment for him and Obi-Wan Kenobi in this, because you really, again, in the first movie, Darth Vader's always just Darth Vader, and then in the prequels they go, well, this guy becomes Darth Vader, and you're like, no, he doesn't. I don't see that. But if
it doesn't seem like Darth Vader at all.
This is a meeting place in between where you get to see him sort of evolve into that and leverage that
and there's
journey.
plenty of time there
it's
too,
kind of
like
super fun to see that.
Because all he says, and there's plenty of room in there, because I mean, all Darth Vader says, you get the impression, but it's like, I haven't seen him in a long. It could have been 5 years since they last talked to
He's
you.
like, I haven't seen him since last Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
we don't know how that sentence ends. There's a presence I haven't felt since last year, with that time that I fought him with all the Inquisitors. Like that was how he was going to say that, and he just let it drop.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. The
That's
Inquisitors
just too much to get in right now. We've got other stuff going on.
Yeah, I wonder how many. Like, this is just a neat time. I mean, it's that whole Rebel. I mean, when does Rebels end, timeline wise? I forgot when that.
It's about a year prior
Before?
to, maybe not even a year, but right around that time period, because it's leading on right into A New Hope.
Don't do too much stuff with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
They could
I
do
kind
with
of
this
like
one.
that I don't want them to, like, because I mean, they did get that feeling when they met for the last time. Like, it was like, well, I haven't seen you in 20 years. That's what it felt like when they met in the originals. So, I mean, they can be around each other, but not meet. I feel like it would kind of ruin it.
I think it's going to happen. I think in a way it is a weird way to redeem the prequels by redeeming the actual original trilogy, because the other problem that you have in Revenge of the Sith is they have this massive lightsaber duel that's like people just doing backflips off of lava pits and shit. And then when they, like 20 years later, which is what this is in real time now, but in the story, they're like, like it's just kind of doing this.
Did you see that thing they made, that special effects people made, where they added stuff to that fight?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was pretty fun.
But I think this will be a good chance to give people that. It's like, well, this is the sort of remake of that. We can't remake Star Wars with the original like prequel actors, but at least we can give you this sort of this middle of the road, like where they both still
Well,
can
I
do a little
mean,
bit of fighting.
well, part of that time too is when him and Darth Maul have their final. I mean, it's in Rebels, but I wonder if they'll ever. I mean, I don't even know if they'll bring him in as a character because he's not even.
I'd like to see
we
him return
yeah.
in other stuff because
Yeah.
there's stuff that takes place in a time period before he's killed. I don't want to see them. I can see where they might see the appeal of doing that in live action because they can, but I don't want necessarily for them to
Yeah, but that
revisit
I guess
that.
because Darth Maul that character belongs way more to Clone Wars and stuff, so it's not even like it's a thing they probably should end in Rebels and that
Yeah.
animated version, you know.
And you could do like if they do a Lando show or whatever they're planning to do in that sort of solo period. Obviously Darth Maul's kicking around there.
Well, they should make that
So-
show with that kid. He's not doing a lot of stuff. I mean, he's in
well,
indie movies and stuff. Why can't he
um,
do that? Ewan McGregor's a
have no
bigger actor
problem
than
with
any of
that.
these people. You know what I mean? Rosario Dawson, Ewan McGregor, these are movie actors, and they're like, Ewan McGregor's like any Academy Award winner, like, and he's doing this. So it's like
They said they were doing
It'd be nice
Lando
to see him
show,
getting
so I
back to
just
trying in
assumed
this
that
role because he
Solo
really
would be
wasn't
in
in
it
some of the
too.
prequel ones.
yeah, he was
By
the
the end of
best
the prequels,
in
he
the
was like done with
prequels.
it.
He was the best in the prequels, despite direction. But it would be
Yeah.
it's interesting to he's the first character. I mean, I guess who else is these prequel? They really have his take on like this version of this now, or even it'd be great to see Hayden Christensen now. Like how at one
That's
he's
what I'm
also
saying.
Yeah, he
he's
has
also
grown.
20 years older as a person, but also there's
With some good direction and that sort of thing.
yeah
You could actually
direction was an issue with the last one. Direction and dialogue was an issue, and that's not his fault.
Yeah,
So
this sort of gives you the chance to relitigate the prequels by giving them a little bit more to chew on. And then it does make you appreciate the prequels for the piece of mythology they are in the saga.
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
So excited by that. So excited by the trailer. Yeah.
I want to see the ghost
Yeah.
of Qui-Gon.
Looking
I'm
forward
saying
to
that
watching
right
it.
now. What's
Ooh.
Liam Neeson doing? But I want to
Oh
see
yeah,
that.
well he says he's got to go.
Liam
He's
Neeson
gonna.
doing everything. He likes
That's
to
That's
do
what he
saying.
said though. He said you got to go off to the desert and commune with Qui-Gon. That's what he told him. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that.
That's what I'd like to see.
So, anyways, all right,
Very cool stuff.
comes out May 25th. We're excited.
We'll be there.
Yay!